Alabama. How many sacks did they have this Saturday allowed?
You told me 0.
Zero
Yes.
sacks allowed. Oh, I knew. I love to make the big man
Tyler
smile.
Booker already smiling. He's with us now, courtesy of CraneWorks and RentalWorks. The big guy says, check out the big dog. CraneWorks and RentalWorks. Were you, I am assuming, already aware of that stat, right, Tyler, that you guys gave up 0 sacks at Kentucky?
Yes, sir. Definitely, I was aware of that stat. That's always the goal. That's the standard, and I'm glad we finally living up to it now. Better late than never.
You're right. Better late than never.
What was it like getting out to that quick start? This is an Alabama team that had some slow starts. 4 of 6 conference games, you guys were tied or trailing at halftime, and this game felt like it was kind of over in the first half.
Definitely. We just set out to start fast. We were scoring. We scored fast last week, and we realized that the faster we scored, the faster they're out of the game, and that's always the goal, to put up points whenever we touch the ball. And I feel like we're just carrying momentum from the past quarters of football that we played from the LSU game. We're carrying over that momentum. You know what I mean? We just have to continue to do that for however many games we have left.
So you guys go out there and you get things rolling early on. And the guy behind you, I mean, it's a combination with their 0 sacks. Some of it's the offensive line, some of it's the quarterback. They talked on the broadcast about how Tommy Rees and the coaching staff got together and they decided at some point to sort of work and change your offensive playbook. If I asked you on a degree of 0 to 100%, with 100% being totally different, how different is the playbook and scheme and approach to offense now for Alabama than when you say played Texas?
As an offensive lineman, I really don't realize what's going on as much just because of how we receive the play call. So we might get an inside zone call, and there's a whole lot of other stuff going on behind us as well. So my job is just to go block inside zone, if that may be the call. So we're not really in tune to what they're thinking upstairs. All we know is that we have to execute whatever job is being given to us, and good things will happen. And that just comes with trust.
Well, my Captain Crunch Dakota ring here says it's very different, Jim, but I'm not going to talk to you about it, and we're not going to talk about that public. Is that what you just said? I think.
Yeah, I'm getting a big red X on that TV. I'll talk about
it. Tyler Booker is with us, the big guy. He says, look to the big dog. CraneWorks and RentalWorks. They bring you Tyler Booker, Elijah McAllister, also Jalen Milroe, and Terrion Arnold with us all week long on the next round. I do want to ask you about your quarterback, Jalen Milroe. When you see him take a hit like he took, where he had to leave the game, Ty Simpson comes in for a play, and then here comes your guy back in there. How does that inspire you as a team, knowing your quarterback is hobbled, but he's out there gutting it out?
I mean, we all know Jalen's tough. He's tough as nails. You see Jalen. How often do you see quarterbacks nowadays lower their shoulder against a defender, especially in the SEC? Like, you don't really see that. So I knew he'd do that. I wasn't really concerned. I went over to make sure he was okay, but I knew he was going to be I knew he was fine. But ultimately, no matter who goes in, they're ready to perform and execute. Like, shout out to Ty for being ready when his name was called. And then he came in towards the end of the game, and he had a really good game as well. So just being able to know that we have those guys that can plug and play, especially at that position, is really inspiring.
So after these last 3 weeks, emotional games at home against Tennessee and LSU, revenge games they call them, and then on the road against a very competitive Kentucky team. Now you guys go back home 11 o'clock and you're playing the Moccasins of UT Chattanooga. I know Nick Saban would say, hey, look, this opponent, you got to treat them like everybody else. But realistically, the way you guys are playing right now, is it all about getting out there, getting a big lead again, and letting some of the younger guys get some reps and you guys getting rest up for the Iron Bowl?
Well, that's not our intention. We're not going into this game thinking like, okay, this is an easy game. We're gonna rush this game. We're going into this game like you said, Coach Saban would say, we're gonna approach this game as we would any other game and just play Alabama football. As we have gotten off to great starts and had really good football for these past 3 weeks, there's still a lot of stuff that we can improve on. And of course we want to get out and start with a big lead, but we're definitely gonna approach this game as we have Tennessee, as we have LSU, as we have Kentucky, and as we will the Iron Bowl.
Was it a little personal for the offensive line in this game? Because your coach has history your O-line coach has history with Kentucky. I would imagine you guys wanted to maybe show your best self in front of his old boss, right?
We brought it up in passing it with jokes every now and then, but it was never like, oh, this is Coach Boso's team. We gotta turn up more than we have been usually. We never made a big deal out of that. We just went out there and went up to go play and dominate. We know what's ahead of us, and we can't concern ourselves with things outside of what the main thing is.
Was there any celebration for being the West Division champion? It's the final one. There will never, I don't guess, there will ever be another West Division champion. The divisions are going away, so this is it. Was there any celebration about that, or is that just part of the job?
It's a part of the job. There's still a lot more to do. Of course, we're happy to win the West. Of course, that's a huge accomplishment, but ultimately, we want to win the SEC. That's our goal, and that's been the goal. So, yeah, it was. We were happy to win the game. We're happy to win the West, but SEC is still the goal at the end of the day. Job is to finish.
Were you guys home in time Saturday night from Lexington to watch a little football?
Yeah, but I went straight to sleep. I was beat. I caught the first few minutes of the Ole Miss Georgia game.
You didn't miss anything.
Ole Miss got put to sleep too. Don't worry, you're not alone.
Yeah. By the way,
that's so I hear.
Yeah. By the way, that was a 6:00 kick, and he got the first few minutes of that. He's telling us he's in bed at 6:30.
I find that hard to believe too.
Yeah, me too.
So you're in the sheets at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, asleep by 9 o'clock.
I mean, you can only take so much football, guys. I'm in football meetings from football.
I get that, but you could have watched a movie till midnight or something, right? Just completely.
I fell asleep to a movie.
Okay. What was the movie?
The Departed.
Oh,
it's a great
fantastic.
one.
You've seen it all, right? Have you seen it all?
Of course. That's my favorite movie. And my hot take is I'm taking The Departed over Goodfellas. Say what you want. I'm taking The Departed.
That's a hot take. The only thing is that final scene. I remember walking out of the theater and I'm like, this was like mass carnage when Leo is dragging down Matt Damon down the elevator. To you, who was the best character in The Departed?
Leonardo DiCaprio's character. It's just how he had to deal with being on that side of playing both sides and having to stay alive, and it's still not knowing if his identity will be saved because Matt Damon's character ended up deleting it.
Oh yeah, he was gone off the face of the planet.
When both of them knew, it
was incredible.
The second half of that movie is great. It's great.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, that's a top 10 out there.
Yeah, but Goodfellas is your all-time favorite,
Goodfellas
right?
is my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, to each their own, but I feel like the more I watch The Departed, it has more rewatchability to it than Goodfellas. I think.
Do you like Goodfellas though? I mean, you're not dogging Goodfellas.
No, not by any means. Not by any means. See, my dad and I, we grew up watching all of my movies. He watched Casino with me, Donnie Brasco. I'm a big fan of The Sopranos, so we watch all of them. So yeah, I love Goodfellas. It's definitely my number 2, but The Departed, I love The Departed.
Okay, so the best character out of those two movies is Tommy, Joe Pesci's character in Goodfellas. And as fiery as he gets, have you ever seen Nick Saban get more fiery than Tommy at his fieriest?
I don't want to say as fiery. Tommy killed people for no reason, but
he put a guy's head in a vice in Casino.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you and your offensive lineman next year, Tuscaloosa Mafia, would be a nice little NIL T-shirt.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Okay, here's one for you. State of Grace. I bet you've never seen it. It's an Irish mob movie. I think it's 1988, 89. But Ed Harris, Gary Oldman, and Sean Penn. You need to check it out. It's very gritty, but it's a really, really good organized crime film based on Hell's Kitchen, based on true stories.
I'll definitely check that one out. Yeah. You said Irishman. Have you ever seen Kill the Irishman? That's one of my favorites, too. I forgot about that.
You're talking about The Irishman that was on Netflix, the other Scorsese?
That's a good one, but it's a movie called Kill the Irishman.
No.
It came out in the 90s or the early 2000s. I forget who's in it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I just remember that being one of my favorites.
Kill the Irishman.
It's amazing, though, you've talked this much about mob movies. You have yet to mention The Godfather, which is cinematic classic. Did you not like The Godfathers?
I liked it, but they're too long. I gotta sit down and watch it. It's been I haven't watched it that recently to be able to talk about it knowledgeably.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bring something and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Watch 1 and 2. Don't waste your time on 3. It was
That's
horrible.
what I hear.
Yeah. 1 and 2, fantastic. 3, awful.
Hey,
Yeah.
I didn't watch 1 until this summer, and I've heard so much about it over the years. It was the most overrated thing I've ever watched in my life.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Because everyone talks like it's unbelievable, and it is. It's good. It's unbelievable, probably. But it was so hyped up all these years. When I watched it, I was like, it was a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's just really long.
It is really
Really
long.
long.
Yeah. There's no doubt it's
Yeah,
long.
000 is a show you need to watch. I'll get you some good mob stuff. I'll have Brown text you some stuff you probably haven't seen.
Please do. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right, Tyler. Good luck against the Mocs. We'll do it again next Monday. We always appreciate the time, buddy.
Thanks. Likewise. See you guys next week.
All right, man. Take care.
By the way, you
That
changed
is-
the C to B. It's the Mob you're playing this weekend, so go get them. Go get them.
We'll do. Have a good one.
All right, see ya. Tyler with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He's presented each week, just like Elijah McAllister, Terrion Arnold, and Jalen Milroe, by CraneWorks and RentalWorks. Now, Tyler and Elijah, they're the big guys, right? And they say, look for that big dog, CraneWorks and RentalWorks.